Hi friends, welcome to Srisai IT Hub. In this video of Core Java Programming, we are going to discuss the following topics. Static data members of Java class. Okay, so we'll try to understand what are the static data members which will be available for us in a Java class. So how to work with static data members, right? So coming to static data members. So first of all, class. So class is a collection of data members. So data members means variables or properties plus methods. So methods means functions. So inside a class we'll have data members and methods. Okay, right. So now what are these static data members? Okay, right. So static data members are those data members which are common for all the objects of a class. So the definition goes like this. Static data members are those data members which are common for all the objects of a class. Okay, now let us take one small example and try to understand this with some real-time situations. So for example, let us take student class in college. Okay, so as per the college, I'm designing one student class. Now in this student class, we'll have student number. Okay, right. Next, we'll have student name. Next, student age. Next, student marks. Next, student total. Okay, next you will have something like student phone number and so on. You will also have something like college name, okay, and college phone number. Okay, right. So these are some properties which are related to student of a particular college. Student number, student name, student age, student marks, student total, student phone number, so on, college name and college phone number. Okay, so here student number, student name, student age, student marks, okay, student total, student phone number are. So these are non-static data members. So non-static data members. So what are non-static data members? So non-static data members means they are separate for every student object. Okay, so it goes like this. Non-static, okay, data members are separate for every object of a class. Every object of a class. Example, now let us say that for student class, okay, we have some objects S1, S2, S3, so on. So S1, S2, S3, so on represents one student data. Okay, so here S1, S2, okay, so S3, so on are student class objects, okay, and they represent, okay, one particular student data. So for S1, S2, S3, okay, non-static data members are separate. Okay, so they will have separate roll number, separate name, separate age, separate marks, separate total, separate phone number. So that's why they are called as non-static data members. Okay, right? So let us try to understand this like a small diagram. Okay, so for example, if you take S1 object, okay, if you take S1 object, so for S1 object, okay, student number, student name, student age, so on, all these are separate. For example, student number is equals to 1001, student name is equals to Sai, student age is equals to 21. So similarly, if we take S2 object, so for S2 object, roll number 1002, Ram, okay, age 20. Next, S3 object. So if we take S3 object, roll number 1003, name Ali, age 23, like this. So memory will be allocated for S1, S2, S3 separately for non-static data members. Okay, so hence memory for non-static data members for every object, okay, is separate. Okay, it is separate, right? Now if you take here college name and college phone number, so college name and college phone number for any student object S1, S2, S3, it will be common. So common means it is a static data member. Okay, right? So now let us try to understand static data member. Okay, so now let us try to consider college name, college phone number. Okay, so if we take college name and college phone number, so these are static data members. Okay, so static data members means they are common for all the objects of a class. They are common shareable data members for all the objects of a class. So what does it mean? Okay, so it means for S1 object, S2 object, S3 objects, so on. Okay, so for all these objects, okay, static data members are allocated only one common shareable memory. Okay, so it will be having only one common shareable memory. So for example, let us say the college name, okay, is equals to something like Sri Sai College. Next, college phone number, okay, now it is something like, you can take it as +918247399359, like this. So it is a common shareable data for all the objects of a class. Okay, so all students will have same college name, okay, and same college phone number. So this is what is common shareable data, which is static data members. Okay, right? So how to work with static data members in a class? So let us try to understand that. So static data members in a class. Okay, right? So for example, we'll take it like this. So we have to use static keyword. So static is the keyword to define a static data member. Okay, example, class A. Now inside class A, I'll be taking int x comma y. Static int C. So let us say initially the C value is something like 11. Okay, so here x comma y. So these are non-static data members. Non-static data members. Now C is a static data member. Okay, right. So non-static data members and static data member. And we can take something like void display, and inside the display we can display the values of static data members, and we can also display non-static data members. So we can print here x value, y value and C values. Okay, right. Then how to work with this static members and non-static data members? Okay, so that is important for us, how to access them outside the class. Okay, right. So how to access static data members? Okay, so it goes like this. So non-static data members are separate for every object of a class. So they are separate for every object of a class. Then how to access them? Okay, hence they are accessed. Okay, non-static data members, they are accessed only with class name. Okay, so for the previous example we can access, okay, x y of class A using only object object.x object.y, or if you have another object obj2.x obj2.y. okay, so these are separate for every object of a class, means memory is allocated. So here separate means memory memory is allocated. Okay, separate for every object of a class. So now comes how to access static members. So static data members are common means shareable, so common for all the objects of a class. Okay, so hence how to access them? So hence they are accessed with object name and also class name. So we can access them with object name as well as class name. So this is what is the speciality of static data members. Okay, so the example goes like this. So in the previous example, x, y are non-static members, so compulsory we have to use them or access them only with object obj1.x obj1.y or obj2.x obj2.y. means for obj1 they will have separate values, for obj2 they will have separate values, but for obj1 obj2 C value will be common and it can also be modified. Okay, so example obj1.c. okay, next obj2.c. okay, and we can also access that with class name a.c. so using class name. Okay, and one more important point here, the point goes like this. So static data members can be modified. Okay, so static means it is not fixed, static means common here. So static data members can be modified by any object or class name. We can modify them with any object or class name. So here static means common but not fixed or constant. So constant means final, but this is not a final variable. It is a static variable. It can be modified by any object or class name. So for example, if you take, we can modify this with obj1.c. We can make it as 22. obj1.c, okay, 2.c. We can make it as 33. And finally using class name also. obj, okay, class A dot C. We can also make it as 44. Okay. And whenever we do changes to static members, data members, it will be updated to all the records, means all the objects. Okay, so this is one of the important point. Any changes done to static data members by object name or class name, comma, they are updated or reflected to all the objects of a class. So what does it mean? Let us try to take with some real-time example. Now let us say that you have objects. Okay, so student class objects. Okay, so student class objects S1, S2, S3, so on. So each object represents one student data. Okay, now if, okay, if college name changes, if college name or college phone number changes, then it is updated to S1, S2, S3, so on. All the objects or all the students. So all the students of student class. Okay, so we can modify the static data members, and if it is modified by object name or class name, they will be updated or reflected to all the objects of a class. So this is how we are going to work with static data members. So let us try to do a small program for this. Okay, so we'll take it as something like static data members example1.java. So program static data members example1.java. Okay, so program to define static data members in a class and access them. Right, so let us try to do this same example using class A. So take a new page, put the comments at the beginning of the program, description of a program. Next, let us take class A. So inside the class A, we'll take two data members, int x comma y, non-static data members. So initially static int c is equals to 11. So this is a common value for all the objects of a class 11. So void display. Okay, right. So display method here will say system dot out dot println. We'll write here class A. Okay, right. So class A values. So print first one x value. So x value is plus x. Okay, next we can print y value, which is plus y, and next we can also print c value. So c is static here, which is, okay, initially 11. Right, now let us go to the main class with main method. Okay, so our main class name is static data members example1.java. So let us try to use this for our class name. So class static data members example 1. Right, so program execution starts with main method. So take it as public static void main string of args. Okay, right, let us save this program in our working directory. Right, so let us save this as static data members example1 dot java. Okay, right, so we have class A, two non-static data members separate for every object of a class, memory, static data member, memory is common for all the objects of a class, display method, we are displaying class A, x value, y value, static c value. So now let us create two objects, A, obj1, new A. Okay, now using, okay, let us take one more object also, A, obj2, new A. Right, so now using obj1.x 10, obj1.y 20, obj1.display. So first we are displaying it with using object1. Okay, so using object1, when we say display, okay, we will get x value as 10, y value as 20, and c value as initially 11. Okay, so let us try to compile this and run this. So come to the command prompt, go to your working directory, java c static data members example 1. So compile this and run it. Right, so class A, this is using object 1. Okay, x value 10, y value 20, and c value 11. Okay, right, so let us take another object now. Okay, so here we'll also display one message here, system.out.println, okay, using object 1. Okay, right, so take this same example and use it for object 2. So for object 2, x value is separate 100, object 2, y value is separate, we'll take it as 200. So using object 2, okay, so class A obj2.display. Okay, so it will display 100, 200, and then common value will be 11 for c value. So recompile this and run it. Right, so if you see here, using object 1, 10, 20, so static value is common 11. Using object 2, class A, x, y, 100, 200, static value is common. Okay, right, so now what we'll do is we'll try to change the static value. A dot c is equals to something like 22. Okay, now a value is, c value is changed using class name. Now try to display this with obj1.display. Okay, right, so again we'll use this using object 1. Okay, display. So now here the values will be right. So using object 1, class A values for x, y, 10, 20. Now the static value is changed to 22. Okay, right. So similarly, using obj2. Okay, so obj2 dot display. So using obj2 dot display, let us try to display the values of x, y, c. So now for obj2 also, okay, last one, obj2 also, 100, 200, static value will be common. Right, now I'll change static value c using obj1.c is equals to 33. Okay, right? So again print, same thing, copy, paste. So using object 1, obj1 dot display, using object 2, obj2 dot display. So you'll get static value modified for object 1, object 2 per 33. Okay, right? So let us try to compile this and run it. So if you see here, using object 1, 10, 20, 33, using object 2, for this also it is modified, 33. Okay, now change the value obj2.c is equals to 44. Now object 2 is changing it to 44. So once again display using object 1, using object 2. Now we should get the latest value. So the latest value will be again 44 for object 1 and object 2. So these are the last two latest values. So using object 1, 44, using object 2, 44. So 10, 20 will be separate for object 1, separate 100 and 200 will be separate for object 2. But static is common for all the objects. And if we do any changes to the static members by class name or object name, it will be updated or reflected to all the objects of a class. Okay, means if college name, okay, or college phone number changes, means college address changes, then it will be updated or intimated or informed to all the students, so that they will come to the new college address, new college phone number. So these are common for all the objects of a class. So non-static data members are separate, static data members are common for all the objects of a class. So this is how we are supposed to work with static data members in a class using static keyword. Right. So thank you for watching this video. Do like and share this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel Sri Sai IT Hub. Have a nice day.